Hello there, and welcome to this little video that I'm recording here today, where I'm going to be reviewing the Bourne Legacy. I saw this movie a week after it came out. Prior to that, I watched back-to-back the first three Bourne movies. That the first time I watched them, I really didn't enjoy them. That was a few years ago when they initially came out. The second time, as I'm a little bit older, I really have enjoyed these Bourne movies, this Bourne trilogy, and I was really excited to see this sequel to the original Bourne trilogy here. So just various thoughts I jotted down after I watched this movie is, first off, I have some spoilers. I'm not going to give anything big away, but just some things will be mentioned here. The first thing is, this felt like a prologue to a part 2. When this movie ended, it really felt to me that where's the rest of the movie? That only half the movie was shown, that it was really like, that's great and all, but where's the rest of the movie? That's the biggest criticism I'd have for the Bourne Legacy, is it just kind of ended. And the thing about it with it just ending is, it was kind of funny, because I hadn't looked at my watch the whole movie, and then literally about 1 minute before you hear the closing music that ends every Bourne movie, I looked at my watch. About a minute before that, I was wondering, it's like, it doesn't seem quite over yet, but it felt like around 2 hours. And I glanced down, the movie is probably about the end. And sure enough, the end music starts to kick in, and the movie ends. It really felt like, this is part 1, where's part 2, where's the rest of the story here? So that's the first thing that I just noticed, and that's the thing that really caught on with me, that, I'm not sure if this is a complete movie. So I'm guessing we will have a sequel, and we'll find out what happens. And my hope would be that perhaps on my second viewing, I feel differently. Perhaps on viewing 2 of this movie, I feel differently, but on viewing 1, that was my impression there. So with that said, what else can I say here? One thing, besides being a prologue to part 2 of this, it kind of felt like a prequel to the original trilogy. Now, I say that knowing full well that this film runs side by side with the Bourne Ultimatum. So the third Bourne movie, timeline-wise, this movie runs side by side with it on a parallel universe. It runs on that same time continuum. You see scenes that were actually from the Bourne Ultimatum in this movie. This movie very much links up these two characters into this next phase of the Bourne movies by sharing that timeline. That is something to recognize, and watching the Bourne Ultimatum before going into this movie may be a smart thing to do because of that timeline commonality. So with that said, this feels like a prequel. The reason for this, even though the timeline is where it is, it feels like this movie, you get to learn some things about Jason Bourne as far as, how these people become their agents. How do they become agents? Even if it was a slightly different protocol, maybe, you get a little more inside scoop on just some of the methods they may have used to create Jason Bourne. And in that aspect, it feels very much like a prologue, prequel, in fact, to the original trilogy. And it's something I rather enjoyed. I think, just in retrospect, watching the 3 movies and then watching this new one, that I think overall, besides the ending where it ended, I think I really did enjoy the Bourne Legacy more than I did the first 3 Bourne movies. And that is saying a lot, because the Bourne movies were awesome. This one, I kind of like better, because I got the whole amnesia thing, and he's trying to find out who he is. But I really really digged the whole aspect of how did they become who they are? How was that process for them? And that I really did enjoy, and I really actually liked the Bourne Legacy, in fact, probably more than any of the other Bourne movies. It's an interesting thing where this movie doesn't have Jason Bourne really as a big part of, he's not in it as an actor really. But it really connected the dots really well, and also explained a lot of things that I was glad they were explained for me. Besides that, I'm trying to think what else is really important to say about the Bourne Legacy. I'd say I'd go see it in theaters is one recommendation. I think it was a great film. Yeah, I think $8.50 for a matinee is a fair price to watch this movie at. It was really well done. Acting was great. You had a lot of the same characters that you've grown accustomed to in the original trilogy. And that was great to see. Music wise, very much in line. The tone of this movie was definitely a Bourne movie, and that the DNA of the Bourne movies is here. That's something that they have not lost here. So, the Bourne Legacy, a great little film that kind of focuses on kind of cleaning out of what Jason Bourne did. So, not much more to say there, except rather enjoyed this movie, and I'd recommend seeing it. So that is the Bourne Legacy, and it's in theaters now. It'll probably be in DVD or Blu-ray, iTunes, January or December of this year. Thanks for watching this video review, and with that said, you can catch more of what I do over at iwakepodcast.com, over at applepredictions.com, and elsewhere on the interwebs. I do lots of other videos and stuff for YouTube. So youtube.com/TCHATEN for all of those videos. Subscribe. And I'm about to record another review about the campaign, which is a rather good one. So stay tuned. Aloha.